going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And happy Monday, people. Happy Monday. And a big week for Arsenal, man. Champions League first leg away tomorrow night against PSV. Manchester United at the weekend as well at Old Trafford. 2 away games. I'll be real, man. The fans are not motivated right now. They're not inspired. They're not interested that much. And it's up to this team and this club to reconnect us, if you like, because at the moment, people are not happy with what they're seeing. And let's be real, it doesn't help when they're bringing out merchandise, China mugs that are £550. You know, that's not really going to help us either. But yeah, it's interesting. It is definitely interesting. We got a lot to talk about. And did you not get the intro? Some of you saying you didn't get the... I did play the intro, so I don't know how you didn't get it. But yeah, lots to talk about, people. Big week for Arsenal. Manchester United beaten last night. Knocked out of the FA Cup. I'll be honest, and I know there's Man United fans who watch this, but I did enjoy Man United losing. However, it was... it's one of them where, like, my initial thing is like laugh at Manchester United for losing. And then I realise we got knocked out by that same Manchester United, which is unbelievable. Can you imagine if Smith Rowe wins the FA Cup at Fulham? I know, obviously, Man City are the favourites to win the competition now. I'd love to see somebody like Forest get to the FA Cup final, just for what it would mean to them. But yeah, and Liverpool's season seems to be going from strength to strength. Everything just seems to be getting better for them. Anthony Gordon is now suspended for the Carabao Cup final after getting a stupid red card against Brighton. That guy Welbs, man. That guy Welbs. We could do with him up front for Arsenal right now, to be honest. So, yeah, it was an interesting weekend, man. I'll be honest, I enjoyed not doing Arsenal content over the weekend, man. I took a break. I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about Arsenal. I don't want to do anything. We'll take a break. We're going straight back in. Champions League watch along tomorrow night. We'll get back down to business. There'll be no press conference reaction today because in the Champions League, they do the press conference at 6:30 in the evening. So we may do a 2 o'clock show tomorrow to just go through what Arteta said, preview the likely lineup. So we won't preview that game too much today. Welbeck loves to chip keepers. That guy Welbs, man. That guy Welbs. Big up Curtis. Did you see Beerif got another hat-trick? Yeah, 10 goals in, was it 6 games or something? Absolutely crazy. Did you see the Mateta challenge? I mean, he fly-kicked him in the head, bro. I thought I was about everybody was kung fu fighting. And the worst thing is, I don't think the guy even got sent off for it. The only cups we're lifting is those Chinese cups. Bro, it's absolutely crazy how much they paid or how much they're charging. And you know what was worse about it is that apparently it's sold out. I don't know what's worse, the fact they're selling it for that much or the fact they've sold out of it. Let me show you this, by the way. I said this is the only cups that Arsenal will be lifting this season are these China cups. I mean, look at the state of these, honestly. No disrespect. I'm not disrespecting the artist's work, but I mean, it's not exactly like... It's not Da Vinci, is it? Do you know what I'm saying, people? Like, he's just put AFC in red writing on a plate. Like, I could go in my kitchen now, get out a plain plate, get some red paint, and just splatter AFC on it. I mean, look at these prices. £55 for a plate with AFC on it. £40 for a mug. Limited edition mug. I mean, that's what they've been doing to us. They're mugging us off. A vase, £385. What the hell? Oh, it gets worse. A gold leaf print. 125, 75 for the plate. And this is the worst one. £550 for a vase that just says Arsenal on it. £550. Oh my God. I mean, listen. If you buy Isak or something, but what the hell is this? You can't buy it. It's sold out. It's actually sold out. Look, notify me. Add to wish list. You can't buy it. One per customer. They have sold out, which means somebody, it's a UK exclusive. Somebody in England has bought that. I want to know. I genuinely want somebody who has bought one of them to get in contact with me. I need to know why. I need to know what the thought process was behind it. You must have too much money. Unfortunately, when I went to order it, it was already sold out. I'm joking. Oh, come on. Not me, people. Not me. So you can now buy a vase for £550 and you can buy Win the Dog merch, which still for me is the all-time favourite. That's still the all-time favourite for me. Win the Dog merch. Let's have a look. Win. Where is Win? There you go. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, it barely looks like a dog. I don't know what that's. A dog? Is it a fox? I don't know what it is. Arsenal Win the Dog plush toy. £25, people. £25. You ain't getting Isak. You ain't even getting Ollie Watkins, but you can get Win the Dog. I did this last time. Let's look at the reviews. I don't mean to blow anybody up here, by the way, but we're gonna. We're not like other channels. Let's look at these reviews. They're giving it 5 out of 10, by the way. Lovely soft material, very well made. Would recommend. Daughter loves it. Very soft and cuddly. A bit more Arsenal, 5 out of 10. Thanks for the amazing product. I've enjoyed the shoes and used the wrapping paper to wrap everything, including a couple of prezzies for Spurs fans. Best thing was Win the Dog. Everyone loved him. He's so soft. Had Spurs in-laws saying he was brilliant and wanting to change his tags. I mean, honestly, we won't win the league this season. We won't win the Champions League. But how can you not be proud of this lovely soft dog, people? Soft. It's so soft. Reminds me of our team, to be honest. Very weak. Anyway. Other channels are available. Other channels are available, people. If you are of a sensitive disposition, this is your warning. Some people get offended when you diss the dog. Big up to everyone. Happy Monday, people. Happy Monday. Yeah, them reviews can't be real. I'm telling you, that's Arteta, that's Vinay, that's Josh Kroenke, that's all of them. That's Robbie, that's Ty. You know what I mean? I might buy the dog and take it back to the shop for banter. End of season, you know, if we ain't got nothing to play for. But yeah, you can get Win the Dog, people, for just £25. Big up to everyone locked in. We are 84 subscribers away from 91k. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit that red button, subscribe to the channel, get involved as we approach and try and get that 100k. Lay likes it. You know you'll tickle the back. Oh, dear me. It's people saying I'm a disgrace for getting on to Win the Dog. I'm telling you, man, that dog. Change that dog's name. I'll let the dog off if we change her name. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, people. Big up my bro Akeem in the chat. Joba, the reviews on the Win plush are all by Arteta. Arteta's got 50 computers. He's changing his name on all of them. 550 Mohammed, £550, 24 karat gold. Arsenal, China, people. And they sold out, so you can't buy them anyway. Listen, happy Monday. Let's talk Arsenal. Let's get down to serious business. Let's talk sporting director. And I'm going to try, people. I'm going to put both hands up. I'm going to try and be a little bit optimistic. I can't guarantee the whole show. I'm still in that mood about Arsenal, transfer window, Dubai, injuries, failing to get a striker. I'm still in a mood, right? I can't lie. I'm still in a mood. But I'm going to try and be a little bit optimistic. Because if we lose to PSV, it's over for the season. So let's try and get it in now. But Arsenal are close to appointing Andrea Berta as the sporting director, which I am happy about. To be honest, out of the ones that were... Jason Ato was the one I didn't want. I'd rather we ran the club than him. The guy from Monaco, I didn't know too much about, but he's obviously got a good record at Monaco. Alabi from Sociedad, I didn't want nothing to do with him. That was jobs for the boys. Berta was the one I wanted. I didn't want Dan Ashworth either, because from when you want Southgate as your manager, yeah, not interested. Berta for me was the one, and I'm actually quite surprised that Arsenal are going down this route, and I just wonder if the club are more taking control of this than Mikel Arteta. Then I'm going to give you some insight and information on him, because I know a little bit about him, because I'd heard a few months ago that there was rumours about him going, but Arsenal were not linked with him at the time. But I do watch Spanish football quite a bit. But I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but I do know a little bit about him. And listen, he's made some mistakes, but he's got a lot right. So Andrea Berta is Italian, and I just wanted to show you some of the things that he's done. And that was Fabrizio who's reporting it, by the way. So we will probably say that it's going to happen, although he does get it wrong sometimes. These are some of his signings that he's made since he's been in charge, and some of the business that he's done. So his biggest fumble, in my opinion, if I'm being totally honest, is João Felix. 127 million euros. He was one of the most highly rated in Europe, but I think there's no doubt that's the biggest fumble that he's made. But he signed Alvarez, Thomas Lemar, Diego Costa, Conor Gallagher, Rodrigo de Paul, Mateus Cunha, Antoine Griezmann, Rodri, Jan Oblak, Luis Suarez, Diogo Jota, and Toby Alderweireld. Now, for me, the big ones there, I think he sold Griezmann for 120 million euros to Barcelona and signed him back for 30 million euros. I mean, that's good business. Rodri at 20 million euros. You know, Ballon d'Or winner. Oblak, 16 million euros. One of the best goalkeepers in Europe for the last 5 or 6, 7 years at least. Luis Suarez for 9 million euros. He went on to win the title. Alderweireld at 7 million euros was fantastic as well. I have to admit, Lemar at 72 million wasn't great. Conor Gallagher is a player I don't particularly rate. And yeah, João Felix is definitely one that didn't work. But listen, we want to focus on the positives here, people. We've got enough going on at Arsenal, you know. Getting Rodri for 20 million euros, who ends up winning a Ballon d'Or, I think we respect that, you know. And obviously getting Griezmann back for 30 million euros is very decent after selling him for 120 million euros. So yeah, listen, he's got some good background work. Now, yeah, and actually people are saying Gallagher's doing well over there. I don't rate him, but people are saying he's done really well over there. So give him credit. Diego Costa is, you know, I've always said Diego Costa is a beast. What I like about these signings though, right? I'll tell you what I like about, not all of them, but a lot of them. You're dealing with big players, big personalities, big agents. George Mendes, for example. You know, João Felix and one or two others. Griezmann. There's big personalities. It shows that he can swim with the sharks. That's what we need. We need a sporting director that can swim with the sharks. Not Edu that gets bitten. You know what I mean? He can't do, oh, you want to buy Pepe and you want to do this and, Fabio Vieira, 35 million getting bumped. No, not interested in that. I want somebody that can swim with the sharks, that can do the big deals. I also like the fact he's Italian. Just because I think, you know, if we've just got people who are friends with Arteta, they're all Spanish, it all becomes a bit friendly. You know, Italians, they're quite ruthless in business. I just think it's somebody from the outside. We need an outsider to come into Arsenal and say, listen, I ain't interested in Arteta and being friends and win the dog and pick pockets and all that. I want somebody that has a huge relationship in world football with these top agents, that when he makes a phone call, people know who he is and they respect him. So this is a lot of his business, Berta, and what he's done. Somebody was asking if he's learned English. Apparently, he's been coming to England for the last 3 months with the prospect of moving to England and has learned English. So, yeah, apparently he speaks English now, and they say he hopes to be fluent by the time the summer. Apparently, he has rejected a move to AC Milan in favour of coming to Arsenal. So 53 years of age. This position at the club has been neglected at this football club for over a decade. Since David Dein left, they went down different routes. They tried to go with Sanelli. It didn't work. They got burnt, right? Brown envelope business on the Pepe deal. Let's just say it how it is, people. They went with Sven Mislintat. Apparently, he was unprofessional, but very good at spotting young talent. They then went for Edu, that felt like the safe approach, somebody they know, and they're not going to have to pay him a huge amount of money. He's done some good things, your Gabriels, your Odegaards, but he's done some bad things. He's done some bad things, your Fabio Vieiras, your Kai Havertz, those deals. You have to have experience in this role. You have to. You need somebody that knows the market, that has relationships. David Dein was a master of that because they knew him all over Europe. He could go to Real Madrid. Oh, Mr. Dein, how are you? Oh, you want this player? Cool. Let's do this. It's absolutely massive in the modern game, people. It's not far off being as big as the manager, in my opinion. One thing I will say about this guy, Berta, is he's only going to be effective in this role if we give him the power. He has to be given power to put pressure on the manager. If he's not, then it ends up in an Edu situation at the end where you're just there to make up the numbers. I mean, like you said, this guy's dealing with Simeone, one of the most ruthless, competent, beastie managers in world football. You've seen the way he acts and his antics. If you've dealt with Simeone, mate, do you know what I mean? Dealing with Mikel Arteta is like, it's a walk in the park. It's baby food, people. You know that mushy baby food that they put in the pots you feed the babies? That's Mikel Arteta. Easy work, people, it should be. But he has to be given money and he has to be given some sort of control. And I think the fact he's turned down AC Milan means he must have been promised, listen, we're going to give you money to spend. Southern Gooner, big up Matt, buy cheap, buy twice, best available, this is proper business, could possibly save us in the long term. And I love that. I love that. I want optimism from the fans. We all know at the moment, we're down in the dumps. We're not happy. Season feels like it's unraveling. It's going to be over. But we do have to concentrate on what's happening moving forward. They can't get this appointment wrong. Give Berta... He must have been told, because you look at AC Milan, you look at Italian clubs. AC Milan on the verge of sacking Conceição already. Money seems to be tight. There's rumours they might have to sell Leao to bring in money. AC Milan are ninth in the league at the moment. He must have looked at that project and thought, not a lot of money, not a lot of optimism, no Champions League football. How am I going to do my job? Arsenal must have said to him, we'll be in the Champions League. We'll give you the bag. Go and enjoy yourself. So... I'm taking optimism. I want Arsenal fans to have some optimism about this appointment as long as it happens, which it's not over the line yet. Fabrizio did say, understand that Andrea Berta is now the top candidate to become the new Arsenal director in order to replace Edu. Discussions have already took place. Berta left Atletico after building the team with key signings in the recent years. Talks are at an advanced stage, not done or sealed yet. I mean, I better not come in with all this optimism today. And then it doesn't get completed, because I'm telling you, we'll have a Buendia style stream if this doesn't happen. Don't fumble it. He's rejected Milan. He's left Atleti. He wants to come to Arsenal. He's learning English. You cannot possibly fumble this bag. You can't fumble this bag. It is light work. Get him done. Now, Berta's on his way. Now, the interesting thing, and I'm looking ahead here, and forgive me on this, people. Some of you will be thinking the same, but let's have this discussion. Now, Berta, is he going to want this man eventually to be back there working with him? You were all thinking it. Berta, Atletico Madrid, Simeone. Does it eventually happen, people? Now, the problem with Simeone is his wages are absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure he's the highest paid manager in the world. No, it's a bit less. He took a salary cut. No, he's on 16.5 million. And that's euros, so you're probably looking at similar to Arteta. But then it said here, Current salary stands at for this different website. Yeah, no, I'm sure that's wrong. Yeah, he's the highest paid manager in the world. £30 million, this one says. One Football says Simeone's current salary stands at £30 million a season. The Argentinian is the highest paid manager in the world, with Pep Guardiola second at around 22 million. So he's the highest paid manager in the world. So that's the problem. That's why I don't think he ever ends up at Arsenal. Because the wages are too high and he's a lunatic. He's an absolute lunatic. Yeah, he'd have people by the neck. Can you imagine Simeone managing Odegaard? It'd be crazy. 30 million, they're not going to pay that. You got to double what Arteta. I'm not being an accountant, by the way. I'd take him. Bring him with his anti-football. Listen, let's be real, people. Have Arsenal been that great to watch this season? And I do think there's an exaggeration with Simeone's football. People act as if the guy is just overly, ridiculously defensive. Like they score goals. They've had great attacking players over the years, as we just mentioned, your Griezmanns, your Costas. So he would kill Havertz. Bro, probably headbutt him. They scored 4 against Barca. Exactly, man. There's definitely an exaggeration. I think he's changed over the last few years. They keep the ball better. They get forward. He plays 2 up front sometimes. I think, listen, we'll see, but I don't expect it to happen. But, you know, thinking long term, would Berta go back and try and get your boy Simeone to the carpet, people? But listen, Andrea Berta, advanced talks with Arsenal, proper business, something to be optimistic about. Unfortunately, it's next season FC, right? It's not gonna, we haven't got a transfer winner. And the question you got to ask, could they not have got him when Edu left? I don't know, but that January window felt so important. Why was this deal not done sooner? Maybe it wasn't an option. I don't know. But listen, looking at the future, Berta would be a fantastic appointment, and hopefully we get that done. And hopefully we at least get somebody that holds Mikel Arteta accountable and puts big pressure on him. So let's hope that deal gets announced sooner rather than later, people. Let me get these super chats. Not excited, just a slight yes nod from me. I respect it. I totally respect. I don't expect any Arsenal fan to be singing and dancing. Oh, we've got Berta, amazing. Nah. The proof's in the pudding, people. If he comes in and buys superstars, cool. But if they give him a list and say, listen, Berta, what we want you to do, we want you to negotiate Sesko, go and get Semenyo, and go and get Juan Garcia, the goalkeeper from Espanyol. It doesn't matter if you've got Houdini doing the transfer negotiations, if they're the names that you're telling him to go and get. If he turns around and says, listen, man, I think I can get Isak, or I think I can get you Gyökeres, or... So it's still gonna need an okay from the manager when it comes to signing these players, you know? Yeah, Inzaghi for me is a manager that I like. Also only on 5 million a year, so financially it's very easy to figure out. Joba, if we get this done, he's going to want to make a statement to get the fans on side. We might get an exciting summer window. Expect names we haven't been linked with to come in my opinion. Maybe we move proper. I would say to every Arsenal fan, and big up Joba, I like the fact there is some optimism, although I would say let's not get too carried away. I think you're spot on. If I'm leaving Atletico Madrid, and I've signed the players of the caliber that I've just mentioned who he's brought in, players like Diego Costa, Cunha, Griezmann, Rodri, Oblak, Suarez, Alderweireld, big names that a lot of them he's made profit. He's turned down AC Milan. I'm not coming to Arsenal if they give me, there you go, there's 100 million, go and buy 4 players. Nah, mate, don't worry about it. They must have said, we can spend big this summer. You've got a lot of money to play around with, so let's hope. Toro said, can't believe the Kroenkes are actually going for a proper sporting director. Berta will sell top 4, the dog, and actually winners trophy. I hope so. I hope so. That's what we need. Vinay is leaving at the end of the season. But let's be honest, was Vinay that good? I don't know. He has to make a statement about acceptability, sack Arteta and bring in quality players. Will he have that much power over the manager? I doubt it. But hopefully it's a different voice, somebody that can put pressure on him. That's what he needs. Big up to everyone locked in. 2.5K on this Monday. Appreciate you all locked in. Do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't already. We are, what are we now? We're about 70 away from 91K. So if you haven't already, Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Mocha said you're an Atleti and an Arsenal fan. Berta is a top director of football. I love that. DG2, sack Arteta, bring in Simeone. I wouldn't have a problem with that, that's for sure. No more jack of all trades. Now, we need to get specialists. If you want a left-back, sign a left-back. Don't buy a centre-back that can do a job at left-back. We need quality. Hope Berta sells North London forever. Yeah, bin it. Get it out. Bring some DMX in, people. Club slowly getting ready for life after Arteta. That's a good point. Maybe they are thinking that. Maybe they are. Maybe they think, you know what? Arteta's closer to the end of his tenure than he was before. Let's get a long-term sporting director. Orange Soda, Curtis and Expressions are my favourite YouTubers. Big up, bro. Big up to X. Can you support two teams? Not wholeheartedly. I think you support only one team, but you might think you might have another team that you've got a connection with, and you know, something like that. Sigma said, listen to you and Potts this morning whilst training, had me laughing out loud, fella, with your brilliant take on a tragic club. Solid work, my friend. Well, I'm hoping. Honestly, I don't want to sit here every day and say we messed up the window, our manager's messing up, our owners aren't ambitious, they're a PR merchant, you know, shirt selling club. I don't want to do that. I want to come here and say, yo, Berta, quality, 250 million, we're going for beast players. We want to win the league, we're getting active, we're doing things right. Arsenal, looking ahead. And let's be honest, I don't expect Arsenal to win the Champions League. Hope, optimism, I will be there, you never know. But I don't expect it. We're going to probably go trophyless. Arsenal need to get contracts done. Saliba, Saka. Priority number one. Get them to extend their contracts. Number two, get deals done early. I want somebody to be signing for this club before the season even finishes. And I mean high quality. Not no little idiot player. We need quality now, right? Not projects, not he's going to be good in 4 years. Proper quality. No summer tournament. We're not going to the Club World Cup. There's no Euros, no World Cup, no nothing. Players can get sufficient rest. There is no excuse. And I hate looking ahead to next season because we're in February, or March, sorry, of this season. So there still should be things to play for. But in reality, unless we win the Champions League, we're now building for next season. And they need to start holding people accountable. You know? Arsenic, why don't we see Kroenke out banners in the stadium? As I said, man, the majority, they're still not of that mindset, unfortunately. But apparently people were singing "We want Kroenke out" at the last home game. Now, when you bear in mind, we've got PSV, Man United, Chelsea, our next 3 games, Chelsea being the next home game. If we don't get good results in those next couple of games, I think you will start to see the heat turn up on these guys. So let's see. Let's see, people. And talking of contracts, let's talk about the next big story. And it does involve that guy, William Saliba. Graham Bailey came out of an exclusive over the weekend. Arsenal are readying a contract offer for William Saliba that, if accepted, will put him on par with the club's highest earners. They will look to open talks in the coming months with a view to getting a deal over the line before the start of next season. William Saliba apparently will be offered £250,000 a week. That will make him the second highest earner at the football club, just behind Kai Havertz, who's on £275,000 a week. Now, let's break it down. He's on 190 grand a week at the moment, right? His previous contract, by the way, was 40 grand a week. So he got a massive pay rise with that first deal. He went up 150 grand a week. They're offering him 250, so 60 grand a week pay rise. I tell you the first thing. If you sit me in that office as Saliba and Havertz is on more money than me, I'm not signing it. I'm not signing it. I'm just being totally honest. And you might think, what? What are you talking about? No. Havertz on more than me? Put the pen down. I'm 10 times the player he is. Now, I'm not saying let's give you 400 grand a week. But psychologically, I would say you need to give me more than him. Even if I'm on £275,000 and a pound, More. I need more money than him. He ain't top earner. I'm better than him. Yeah? Take it out of his wages. Fine him every week. Listen, what I'm trying to figure out, all jokes aside, he deserves the contract. He's been an absolute colossus. I know a lot of people online are saying, yeah, but Gabriel's been better than him this season. No problem with that. I would actually agree with you. But is he better than him? I don't know. Saliba's younger than him. Saliba's the ball player. You know, everybody wants that modern centre-back that is so comfortable on the ball. Madrid want him. Every club in the world would take William Saliba. Every single club. He's 23 years of age. He's a colossus. My thing with this, right, and I'll tell you the truth. When I saw the story, I was like, right, good, handling business. But the second part of it in my mind was, well, would he actually put pen to paper? And I want to ask you all in the chat, and I want you to be honest. Every Arsenal fan will want him to sign it. If you were William Saliba right now, would you sign a new contract at Arsenal? And I'm trying to think how he would probably be thinking. I mean, Van Dijk's on 220. But Van Dijk's 30... how old is Van Dijk? Is he 32? 33? So that's the reason, isn't it? He's not going to get more than Saliba. Saliba's 23. He's 33. Saliba's 10 years younger than him. If I was Saliba, I tell you the truth, and they put that contract in front of me, I would say I need to wait until the end of this summer. There's no way on earth I would sign that contract right now. I just couldn't trust the club. I just could not trust that club to sign that new deal. Now, he might look at it and say, you know what? I'm 23. I'm happy in London. This contract is more money than I ever believed. I can go Real Madrid in 2 or 3 years. But there's a story out today as well saying that basically Real Madrid are telling Saliba to not sign a new contract, so that they can get him on a free in 2 years. Real Madrid have obviously changed sort of their approach with signing players. And you've seen with the likes of Trent, you've seen what they did with Kylian Mbappe, that they want to get players on a free if they can. You know, they would like him to run down his contract and get him in 2 years for nothing. So if Madrid are telling him in the background, listen, if I was Madrid, I would be saying, bro, you're on 190 grand a week. They're offering you 250. It's not financially a crazy amount more when you're making that much money. Just sit tight on 190 for 2 years and come to Madrid in 2 years for a free. What I would be saying if I was him is that I need to see who you're buying this summer. If he's happy at Arsenal and he thinks, I like it here, but I'm unsure, I would, yeah, and I'm probably with you on that, Chris. I'd put some sort of release clause in there, and I would also say, I need to see what you do this summer. If I'm seeing players like Sesko coming and players of that level, then Hala Madrid. But if you're getting Isak, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Eze, top players that I think can make a big difference, then let's put pen to paper. That's where I would be at. Put a big release clause in there, get a massive signing on fee, get your 250 a week and you're good to go. Because he does look frustrated. However, the only thing, a release clause wouldn't help Arsenal, really. We don't really want a release clause in the contract, because if Real Madrid got to a point where they were flush with money, they might activate it. Do you want me to tell you the biggest hope for Arsenal? I'll tell you the biggest hope for Arsenal is Madrid. Everything I'm reading is that Madrid want a centre-back this summer. They need a centre-back. Militao's injured. Alaba's only just come back. Rudiger's 30 plus. But this Senzo has actually done well since coming in. So got Senzo and Rudiger and Alaba. Militao's out long term. They want a centre-back. However, I think they're going to look to get a centre-back this summer. And I don't think Saliba's going to leave this summer, because I don't think Madrid are going to put that kind of money down this summer. They're going to go for Trent. He will have a massive signing on fee and a big wage. So my kind of hope is that Madrid go somewhere else this summer. They've been linked with other defenders. So I'm hoping that they get another centre-back. Then Militao returns in 4 or 5 months, and they end up with 4 centre-backs where they've got Rudiger, Militao, Asenzo, and then they go and buy somebody else. Yeah, Asenzo does have a case hanging over him, you're right. So we will see. We will see. 250 grand a week. I'm just glad we're in talks. We know that 2 years isn't long enough. We know we need to extend that contract. We know Madrid are lurking in the background. We need to get some business done. Yeah, Van Dijk's a free if he doesn't extend that contract. But they, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what they've been linked with. Romero at Tottenham. That aggressive nature, he would be good. Who knows? And I'm sure he'd be a lot easier to get than Saliba. So listen, hope for optimism, but again, until he puts that pen to paper, I won't get too excited with it. But I'm glad 200, and he deserves it. Let's be honest, 23 years of age is no better young centre-back in world football than him. And that's the going rate. And he knows you don't want to give me the money, I can go and get that somewhere else. So I have to admit the old school mentality of me as a person. And again, I have to move with the times because the game has changed. You pay 70 million for a player that you would have paid 40 million for. That's just how football is. I had this thing in my head of like, you can't pay a centre-back 250 grand a week at that age. That was sort of my initial thought process. Like, what? 250 grand for a centre-back? However, Saliba's the top 2 players at the club, in my opinion, with Saka. And we know Madrid want him, so you got to pay him that. Plus, if he left, how are you going to replace him? It would be Saliba would be an absolute nightmare to replace. Absolute nightmare. I'm telling you now. I love Gabriel. I think he's been better than Saliba this season, but I think Saliba would be harder to replace than Gabriel, to be honest. I think the aggressive centre-back is easier to find than the one that's top quality on the ball as well. So you've got to keep Saliba at the club. Plus, he's 4 years younger than Gabriel. So you've got to keep him. You've got to pay him whatever it takes. Honestly, if he turned around and said, I want 300, I'd give him 300 grand. Honestly, I would give it him. So let's see. Let's see what happens there, people. But hopefully he puts pen to paper and extends that contract. You've got to play on the fact that hopefully he's very happy at the club. And, you know, you can keep him at the club long term. But let's see. Let's see how that one goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Madrid ain't signing Van Dijk. He's old and they are a serious club. I'd still say Van Dijk's the best centre-back in the world. But I think Van Dijk's going to stay at Liverpool anyway. So we'll see on that one. Part-time Partey said, good start if we bring him in. Only the beginning. I need my Isak level sign-in as well. By the way, check your inbox. Got something cooking for the community. I will check, bro. Big up. I will check. 8TWW says, Berta coming, I think, isn't the end of Arteta. He's just good. Bring someone with experience. Collaborate with Arteta and bigger deals possible. Isak and Virch. Do you know something, right? And you guys know I'm not a big fan of Mikel Arteta, and I'm open and honest about that. However, the thing that he's going to be at Arsenal next season, we know that. So we've got to look at, if he's the manager, how do you get the best out of him as a manager? And I think what you've got to do is put more pressure on him, give him more help, get more experience around him, and don't allow him to make novice mistakes. So when he wants to buy silly players like Havertz, Fabio Vieira's for big money, you need a sporting director to block that deal and say, you're not doing that. Why would you pay 65 million for Havertz when he's failed in midfield for Chelsea? They've ended up throwing him up front just to get him in the team. So why are you going to buy him for 65 million to put him in midfield when he's already failed there? Then he comes to Arsenal, fails there, and you end up chucking him up front. So we've actually had a mirror image of what Chelsea had with Havertz, although they got a Champions League winning goal out of him. We get him shouldering the ball wide against Newcastle. So we've actually had a worse situation than them, because he scored them one of their biggest goals in their history, and then they got him off the wage bill and got nearly all their money back. We haven't had a big moment like that from him, and we're stuck with him. So you need somebody to say, yo, Mikel, stop doing that, right? You're not buying him. I've got contacts. I can get you a proper striker. Yeah? Put him on the bench. I've worked with Diego Costa, Griezmann, Falcao's, superstars. And that's what somebody's got to be putting pressure on Arteta. No, I'm here to win. I've learned English. I've left Spain. Let's go and win trophies. Let's be successful. Yeah? The board need to give him 250 million. They need to spend it properly. That gives us a chance. I know we don't want Arteta, a lot of us, but he's going to be here next season. He needs to be held to account and get proper players in. Arsenic, good time to bring in Champions League expert Ten Hag for Arteta. Ten Hag, you know, I mean, I tell you what, Amorim, I actually said when Amorim came in, he sounds like a good manager and he talks well, but they're worse than Ten Hag. But I would say to Man United fans, and you know, I think Man United's biggest problem is those players, and I would clear out at least 10 of those players. I think they might as well keep Amorim, give him a chance to build his own team. That Man United team's the worst team I've ever seen. But Amorim, I mean, they might sack him. They might, but I think they need to clear out the players first. Nunez shooting boots. Well gone, bruv. Passed the most important exams of my life today, drinking a whiskey. Listening to you as a Liverpool fan, but bruv, I enjoy listening to you. The one legit, non-deluded Arsenal fan. Big up, bro, man. Hey, well done, man. Congrats. Big up your damn self. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Achievements, positivity, uplifting. Big up your damn self, man. Enjoy that whiskey. I don't like whiskey, you know. I can't deal with whiskey, man. I had a bad experience years ago in my clubbing days with whiskey, man. I don't like it. But yeah, fair play. It's a strong drink. But big up your damn self, man. Well done. Jobot, if we get Berta, to get the fans on side, you'd have to make a statement and use that to get Saka and Saliba on side and sign to contracts. We'd be on board if that happens. Imagine if he comes in and goes, Saliba, Saka, new contract. Look at me. Oh, by the way, we're signing him, and him. We'd be going, oh my days. Look at this guy. He's there to take pressure off Arteta, but he needs to use him in the right way. So let's hope so. And big up Latte, my member for 38 months. Big up your damn self. Hala Madrid, please go sign Murillo from Forest. Leave us alone. He is a player, by the way. He was being linked with Atletico Madrid, but yeah, very, very good players in the Brazil squad now as well. So yeah, man. Let's move on. Thomas Partey. We've actually got conflicting reports about Partey. Big up Laser Gaming, man. Make sure you follow him. Doing big things in the gaming world on YouTube. Big up your damn self, bro. We've got conflicting reports about Partey. So basically, decide which one you believe, people. And we'll figure it out. Caught offside saying, Arsenal want to extend Thomas Partey's contract by 1 year and have held talks with the players' representatives. Partey is open to a contract extension. However, he is not rushing to make a decision because of interest from Barcelona and Juventus. We know that Juventus wanted to sign him 2 summers ago. They tried, was it last summer? Might have been last summer. They wanted to buy him for something stupid like 13 million. But they love a free agent. Barcelona like free agents as well. So 1 year extension, is he going to take that? The problem you're going to have, I mean, I respect that. I said if you keep him, it can't be more than a 1 year with a 1 year option, maybe 2 years if they really wanted to keep him. You can't be giving him a 3 year deal because we know he's inconsistent in terms of injuries. Although this year he is having a good season. He does turn 32 in June. I just wouldn't be giving him loads and loads of money. Part 2 of the story. Let me know which part of the story you believe and let me know what... Do you know what? We'll get a poll out. We'll put a poll out for this one. Charles Watts says something totally different from Caught Offside. Arsenal have yet to initiate any contract talks with Thomas Partey, and there's a growing feeling within the players' camp that the club will not push to keep him beyond this season. So, caught offside saying 1 year deal on the table. Charles Watts saying no interest from Arsenal in giving him a new contract. So let's get a poll up. Thomas Partey, new contract or let him go? What is your thoughts on Partey's future? Listen, I've said before what I think. I think if you're looking from a pure footballing point of view, I would extend his contract by a year. Because I think he's had a good season. Now, that doesn't mean next season he has to start every week for you. Imagine moving Partey down to the Jorginho role in the team as like the third or fourth choice. That is a strong midfield. Imagine if you got Partey, Rice, and you go and get maybe 2 new centre mids. I mean, I don't rate Marina, but imagine him being like our third or fourth choice. That would be unbelievable. But I honestly think that this case hanging over him. I think that's the problem, because I don't see why Arsenal wouldn't keep him. When you look at the season he's having a very good season. So, listen, when I say case, I'm not making any accusation over him. I'm saying the case is still hanging over him. Hasn't been cleared up either way yet. And obviously, Arsenal will be sitting there thinking, well, imagine giving him a new contract and that case blew up, how bad that would look from their point of view. Do you know what I mean? And they will be thinking about that. Let's be totally honest, people. So I think if you're looking at a pure footballing point of view, I'd give him a new 1 year contract. He's been superb this season. In fact, I would go as far to say he's been our best midfielder this season. So I find it astonishing, really, that the club would just let him go. I'd give him a year with a 1 year option. Keep him for a year. Use him as a backup if you have to. 1 of 4, he would be an excellent squad player. But what do you guys think? That's where I'd be at with it. I think for a year, but maybe he won't take a year, because the problem you've got, let's say Juventus or somebody want him, they're probably going to offer him 2 years or 3 years. He might want that stability. I would probably only give him a year because he nearly turns 32. I wouldn't trust him over a 2 or 3 year period to stay fit. But I mean, you look at him this season, he's played a lot of football for Arsenal. You know, he's hardly been injured this season. 26 appearances this season and 8 in the Champions League. 4 in the EFL Cup, 1 in the FA Cup. I mean, he's made 39 appearances this season. We're only in February. He's probably going to end up playing 50 games for us this season. So what do you guys think? I'll leave that poll there. Let me know what you think. Thomas Partey, would you give him a new contract or would you let him go and move on? As I said, for me, in terms of on the pitch, I think he's been fantastic this season. But let's see what happens. If he goes to Serie A, he could probably play for 4 years. Much slower league. He'll probably suit his game a lot more. So we'll see. We will see. Let me know what you guys think about that. Another transfer story that we're going to talk about. Let me just read this super... No, I read that one. I read that one already. Let me read this super chat from... Oh, no, that's another... No, read that one as well, people. There were 2 there, but I've already read them. Left wing debate. And this will be another poll, I think, people. The Mirror. John Cross. Arsenal might have to sell Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli this summer to fund a summer rebuild, with both players targets for Saudi Pro League clubs. Read the full story. Basically, the story is saying Arsenal are going to go big for a left winger this summer. No club is going to have 3 highly paid left wingers. Trossard earns around 100,000 a week. Martinelli is on around 180,000. Also, let's just say, for example, we were to get Nico Williams. He's already on 200 grand, so you're looking at 250 at least. One of them will have to go. Who would you go for? From both points of view, this is how I look at it. Trossard, 30, 1 year on his deal, 27 million, hasn't been great. You could say time to get rid of him. On the other hand, you could say that Trossard's not a bad squad player off the bench. You would get more money for Martinelli because he's younger, especially if a Saudi club came in for him. Personally, I'm extremely disappointed with both of these players and how they've performed at Arsenal. I'm in a zone right now. If you got rid of both of them, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd take 2 new left wingers and get rid of both of them. However, I would probably get rid of... I don't rate any of them at the moment. I'll be totally honest with you. It's a difficult decision. I'd probably get rid of Trossard. I would probably get rid of Trossard, but if a Saudi club offered big money for Martinelli because he was younger, then I'd be tempted to get rid of him. Because if you could get 60, 70 million for Martinelli, but then they've both been bad. They've both been really poor, man. I'm going to keep a little bit of faith in Martinelli because he's younger. He's younger. I'm going to end that Thomas Partey poll quickly because I think this one's going to divide opinion a bit more. 70% say give him a new contract. 30% say get rid of Partey. Right. Which one would you sell? Martinelli or Trossard? That's the poll. I'm going to keep Martinelli. But I do get the sentiment. If Martinelli was sold, you would get bigger money for him. So, Martinelli, Trossard. I would keep Martinelli. Not because I rate him. Not at all. I really don't rate the guy. This is my thought process. This is my thought process. I think Martinelli could be okay off the bench. Lot of pace, direct running. I would downgrade him to a squad player and then buy a better left winger that starts ahead of him. And then I'd get rid of Trossard. I don't think Trossard's got anything really left at Arsenal. I feel like he's served his purpose. He cost 27 million, third season. I just think I'd get rid of him. At least with Martinelli, there's pace. You might be able to get some sort of form out of it. To be honest, I'd get rid of both. I'll be totally honest. If I could, I would sell both of them. Honestly, I would take the money for both. Because Martinelli shouldn't be on 180,000 a week. What has he really done? But I'm just being realistic. I don't think Arsenal sell both of them in one window. Then they've got to buy 2 left wingers. We got so much business to do this summer. You're not going to over-create more problems for yourself. Lookman and Cunha. Yeah, although I think Cunha... Is he good at actually starting on the left? He kind of drifts central. I know Wolves start him up front. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind selling both of them, to be honest. I reckon we should have sold Trossard in January. And then got rid of Martinelli in the summer. That would have been my opinion. Keep Partey says to Ron, save that money to replace him. Focus the money on money up front. I hear you on that, bro. Brito said, is Arteta allergic to strikers? He sold all strikers since he came in, including potential academy youth. Well, yeah, Beerif, Chido Obi, Balogun, Nketiah, Lacazette, Aubameyang, all of them pretty much. And T-Dot said, Trossard is better than Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli needs to go. And I hit both sides. I understand both arguments. I really do. The crazy thing is, Saudi as a nation, as a league, since the Saudi Pro League have had this investment, we haven't benefited once from it. I see average players go in Saudi for 40 million, 50 million, 70 million pound offer for Darwin Núñez in January. And I'm like, bro, why don't the Saudi clubs come to Arsenal, pick up some of our leftovers? Come and take Martinelli for 80 million. Take Trossard for 50 million. Like, do something. Come and buy someone off us for a stupid amount of money. Buy Zinchenko for 80 million. Nah, not 80 million. But you know what I mean? Give us some of that Saudi bag, man. We need the bag. Yeah, please, come and buy Havertz for 60 million. We'll be delighted with that. Arteta would probably say, no, you're right. Probably would. This is intriguing. I think Arsenal would sell Trossard. Looking at it from an Arsenal point of view. If I think Arsenal, how they would look at it, Martinelli signed a massive contract, long term. Trossard's got a year left in the summer. I just don't think. And there was rumours, Ben Jacobs said Martinelli was being offered a new deal. So I think it will be Trossard. I think Trossard will be on his way. I think the only reason we didn't sell Trossard was, I think it was out of our window. Our window was finished in the summer, and the Saudi window went on after. So selling Trossard at that time made no sense. We would have been selling him with our window closed. We wouldn't have been able to replace him in any way, shape, or form. So I think Trossard goes. However, if the Saudi club came in early and put massive money down for Martinelli, you might see a different one. Remember, like Chris says, there's rumours that Trossard's rejected a new deal at Arsenal. Saudi club's interested. He's 30. He's only got a year left. It really does make sense. It's going to be Trossard, in my opinion, that would leave. They rejected 35 million euros, which is about 30 million pound. I think if you can get that up to maybe 40 million euros, which is about 35 million pound, that's more than we paid for him when we paid 27 million for him. So I would expect Trossard to go, although, like I said, I would probably have no problem with selling them both. But get rid of Trossard, bring in a top quality left winger. Big up the C Unit community. My gosh, Ivan Toney scored a hat-trick. I mean, listen, I expect him to score goals in Saudi, but he's a quality striker, bro. He's a natural goal scorer. He's played the lower leagues. He's played for England. He's played in the top level. Brilliant hold-up play. Brilliant in the air. Can finish with both feet. Great at penalties. For 40 million, it was an absolute no-brainer. Not just for Arsenal. You look at Man United, Xerxes. I mean, Xerxes, who I nicknamed Picky Ed Ross when we were linked with him. I mean, I don't want to destroy the guy just because he missed a penalty yesterday, but I just don't rate the guy. Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes are absolutely dreadful strikers for Manchester United. Nowhere near the level. And United fans might think I'm disrespecting them. I'm actually complimenting them because their strikers are not at the level they're at. Ivan Toney walks into the Man United team. He walks into the Arsenal team. He walks into Chelsea's team. I think he's better than Solanke. He walks into Tottenham's team. He's probably a better striker than what Liverpool have got, because we all praise Jota. Oh, he's a brilliant finisher, but Jota can't stay fit. He's a sick note. That's why he never scores 20 goals. He's injured all the time, and he's better than Darwin Núñez. So let's be honest, apart from Manchester City and Newcastle with Isak, Toney starts for every club in the Premier League, in my opinion. Unless you think Watkins is better. But I would take Toney over Watkins as well. He probably starts for every club in the Prem apart from Newcastle and Man City, Haaland and Isak. So I think clubs were scared of the gambling. I'll be honest. I think clubs were looking at it going, well, if we pay 40 million for him and then he gets banned for 10 months, we're stuck with him. So he would have walked into those teams. But yeah, it is what it is. He's living the high life now, and he 400 grand a week. Brito said, Martinelli, your guaranteed defensive side, even when he's poor. I mean, maybe if he wasn't defending as much, we'd get a better attacking player there. A&E Do Brews, a member for 38 months. Big up your damn self. And T. Gunart said, who is going to buy an injured Martinelli at those wages? I mean, he is back at the end of this month. So by the end of the season, he would be fit. His wages, I mean, if he went to Saudi, not a problem. 200 grand a week or 180 in Saudi is light work. Amsterdam, Thailand, big up, bro. Ajax cost us 2 seasons to change everything from last to first in 1 year. What phase? I couldn't believe how bad they were. Do you know what? Let's look ahead. I'm only going to briefly look ahead to tomorrow's game because I'm going to do a preview for that game probably tomorrow afternoon. Because Arteta's press conference isn't till 6:30 this evening. So I can't concentrate too much on that game against PSV, which is a crunch game tomorrow for Arsenal people. However, PSV, let's concentrate on our opponents a little bit. Beaten at the weekend. And if you look at their run of form here, I mean, big up Amsterdam, Thailand, who's an Ajax fan. 5 wins out of 5 for Ajax. Incredible form. They were having a nightmare season. Now they're absolutely flying. PSV, 1 win in their last 5. Beaten at the weekend. although they are the top goal scorers by some distance. 73 goals scored compared to Ajax, who are top on 52. 21 goals more. But they lost at the weekend, beaten by Go Ahead Eagles, is it? Go Ahead Eagles 3-2, crunch game. They also lost to Go Ahead Eagles in the Cup semi-final. So they've had a terrible week against this Go Ahead Eagles. I mean, I just wanted to have a look what their team was. See who we recognise in this team. I mean, we have played PSV before. We'll recognise a lot of these names. I mean, Benitez in goal, Ledesma, Malacia at left back on loan from Manchester United. You got Bakayoko's done very well against us in the past. I would probably play Lewis Skelly or Tierney ahead of Calafiori. I don't trust him. Noah Lang for me. I mean, he ripped up Ben White in that game at the Emirates. Was it last year or the year before? He was twisting him up, man. He then became quite popular amongst Arsenal fans because when he was training in Dubai, he was wearing an Arsenal shirt. But listen, we don't care who he supports. Till is decent as well. De Jong is kind of old, but he's a decent finisher. And we've got to be careful. This is a dangerous game. Do I expect us to win? I hope we win, but the firepower... I said this last week and I'll say it again. Give me a stinky draw. Give me a stinky draw and get them back to the Emirates. And then hope that the Emirates, big Champions League night, that we find something to get us over the finish line. Lewis Skelly's obviously available. His suspension doesn't apply to the Champions League. He'll be back. They set up very similar to us, 4-2-3-1. They do score a lot of goals. But Malacia, I mean, who's going to play? Malacia's not a bad defender. He's very mobile. I mean, injuries stopped him more than anything at Manchester United, but they need to be got at. They're losing to Go Ahead Eagles, who sounds like, I don't know what they sound like. You know, sounds like a group. Sounds like a music band. You know what I mean? But one thing I will say, PSV, good atmosphere. They beat Juventus at home. They attack. We're going to have to be smart tomorrow. Our defence and midfield are going to have to carry us through this game because I don't expect us to have a lot of firepower. I really don't. Malacia did do well against Saka. I remember that game. Sounds like an NFL play. Yeah. Hey, guys, be excited. Go Ahead Eagles. You know what I mean? It's mad. I'll take a draw. If we can win, amazing. If we can get a draw, I think that's positive. A defeat would be a mini disaster because I don't expect us to have a whole lot of firepower going into that second leg. I don't think Martinelli or Saka will be back for that game. So we're going to have what we've got. I suppose my question to the community is, how would you feel about that front line? Are you playing Marino up front again? Are you playing Trossard in the false nine? Would you throw Sterling up front and leave Trossard on the left? Would you play Waneri up front? Personally, I'll go back to Trossard. I'll go back to Trossard up front because I actually think in the Champions League he would get more space. I'm going Trossard. Trossard and Waneri, it's so difficult because in my head, I'm like, I've got to play Raheem Sterling on the left, but he's given us nothing. I just don't even, I don't know if Sterling has got anything to offer us. I would genuinely consider like throwing Calafiori in the front three, just being a chaos merchant, or put Tierney on the left and put crosses in. Sterling is offering so little. I don't even know if I can play him there, but you would have to. You would probably have to. He's the only attacking option. But he's offered nothing this season for me to say, well, at least he's still quick, or at least he can still dribble, or he can shoot. I think he has checked out. I think he needs to go and play in the MLS, go to Saudi, pick up the bag, relax himself. But I just don't know. I would play Trossard false nine because he can finish. I think centrally in the Champions League, he would get more space. It would be less physical. I would play Trossard up front. I would play Waneri on the right. The left-hand side, I genuinely don't know who I would play there. I don't know. I think Lewis Skelly is quite good going forward. I think Tierney's got great crosses. Calafiori's a chaos merchant. The problem is he's not going to get... I don't think he's got the engine to get up and down the wing defensively. Oh, bro, Rasta mouse settings, people. Rasta mouse settings, man. With Razza. Every time I look at a game, I think, come on, Raheem, you owe us something. One performance where you roll back the years and you look like the Man City Raheem. Just one, bro. That's all we're looking, but I just don't know if he's got it in him. I've got no idea who we play on the left. I think, will he stick with Marino, Trossard, Nwaneri, or will he go Sterling? I think he might stick with Marino, you know. I think he might stick with him. But got no faith in that front line. Perisic said we're always missing something. Bun Perisic, man, ex-Tottenham. Hold on, Curtis, you will see the best of him. Or do you just play Butler Adeji? But he's not going to trust him in a Champions League away game. He ain't even getting 20 minutes against Premier League teams when we're winning. So he ain't going to start him in a Champions League game away from home. Either way, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me end this poll, people. Big up to everyone locked in. 2,700. We are 60 away from 91k subscribers. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. 72% say you would sell Trossard in the summer. 28% say you would sell Gabriel Martinelli. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Trossard would be gone for me. 1 year left on his deal. 30 years of age. Turns 31 this year. I'd get rid of him and bring in another left winger. But listen, people, want to say a big thank you to tuning in. We've been live just over an hour. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. We'll preview the game against PSV. Watch along tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for an 8 p.m. kickoff. Massive game. It's all we got left to play for. So let's hope they can restore some sort of optimism going into the season, because I think PSV personally are going to go for us. I think PSV will be thinking, try and get a lead in the home game, go to the Emirates with something to defend. We've got to make sure we don't get beat in that away leg. Minimum get out of there with a draw. Also, I know we're not in great form, but can we not beat a team like PSV? I know we're not a great team at the moment, but like, I'm not being disrespectful, people. Are PSV world beaters? Is there anyone in that PSV team that you look at and go, oh my God, I would love to have him in my team? Yeah, there might be one or two, but they've just lost to go-ahead Eagles. I mean, it sounds like a chocolate bar. You know what I mean? What are we doing here? Like, can we actually act like a big club for once? I mean, West Ham turned up at the Emirates with no strikers and beat us. They didn't go, oh, we've got no strikers, we can't score goals. No, they put a winger up front, Jared Bowen, and he scored. Let's actually act like a big club for once. Go there, defend properly, nick a goal, get out of there with a win. They're not that good. They're second in their league. I mean, anyway, maybe it's wishful thinking, people. Go ahead, Curtis. Yeah, I will go ahead. I'll be out of it. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Enjoy your Monday. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all tomorrow, people. Take care, everyone. Bless.